All right, here we go. We are gonna bring you the serious frog tricks. These are a couple super secret frog tricks that I do to my Spro Bronzeye, the pop-in version, and the regular Bronzeye Original 65. So there's basically 3 things that I do to each frog before I fish with it. And this has come from years and years of going out there and fishing and trying different things and seeing what works. So I got my Spro. This is my frog box. See, it says frogs right on there. And I'm gonna take, you know, a brand new one, which is what this is, a poppin' frog. I'm gonna start with the original Bronzeye. This is original Bronzeye. You can see how long those legs really are. I don't like the long legs. So the first thing I do is I cut about half of them off. I want those fish to really get more focused on the body. So I'm gonna take some good sharp scissors. Some of them I might leave a little bit longer. I mean, I've caught plenty of fish on this guy. So it's something a little bit longer, a little bit shorter than that. That right there will work just fine as far as I'm concerned, because that's still gonna separate when it gets down there. So that's the first thing I do. The second thing that I do is that I cut a butthole. I cut a butthole in the back so that the water drains out. Now, do you have to? No, you don't. But let me get a good up close view and I'll show you. So I just take my scissors and go clip, and then I take it and go clip, and then any kind of little slit in the back, just like that, is all you need. That water will constantly drain out of the back. You don't have to mash your frog down after you fished it for a little bit. And as you can see, like if you went through my box here, you could see that most all of these that have been used already have a hole in the back of them. Does Rojas do it? Nope, he does not. Has anybody caught more fish on a Bronzeye frog than Dean? Probably not. But this is what works for me. And when that bait, I want my frog to sit up in the water. I don't want it to be, you know, sit down like this, because the higher up it floats, the less water it has in it, the better that bait's gonna walk in open water. That's kind of a big deal. That's a big secret, big secret right there. And then the other deal is that, you know, this one is pretty good. Now you can see on this side that hook point is up off the body. That's what I want. Let's look on this side. On this side, not quite as much. It's kind of tight to the body. Now, if you're fishing around a lot of moss, you know, like that slimy moss, it'll get on your hooks sometimes. But I'm gonna take some Spro pliers and crank out that hook point just a little bit. And now you can see it's out off the body. So as long as both hook points are out off the body, that's kind of the deal. So what you want to do is when you grab that frog, you want to be able to feel those hook points, because as that fish grabs that frog and goes down, you're going to crack them. I just want to make sure that those super sharp Gamakatsu hook points catch something in the roof of the mouth, preferably. Sometimes you catch them in the tongue, but preferably like that thing in the roof of their mouth. And if you jam it in there, you just got to get that hook point started, take you that heavy braid, put the wood to them, and it's a done deal. They're baked. So those are my 3 little tricks, and I'll do the exact same thing on the poppin' frog. This is one that I've already done up. Now, poppin' frogs have a little shorter legs, and I'll go with those legs just like they are. Sometimes I might trim them up a little bit, but I mean, as you can see, I got a little grass on that one hook from where I've been fishing it. But you can see it already has a pre-cut butthole in it, and these hooks are already dialed in. You can see that one's already up off the body, and that one's off the body a little bit as well. That thing is ready to rock. It is ready to absolutely pierce one on the inside of the mouth. But I'm gonna take this brand new one, and you can see how those hooks are really tight to the body. They're really tight to the body. I don't like that. And it does not have a hole in the hiney. So I'm gonna put, I'll show you, put another hole right in the old Heineken, right there, just enough to drain it. And then I'm gonna take my spray pliers again. I'm gonna get a hold to that, and I'm gonna hold it, and I'm gonna I'm tweaking them out like this, tweaking them out like that. So I'm gonna tweak it out a little bit on each one. You don't want to do too much. You want to just get it off the body a little bit. So now that one's off the body pretty good. That one's off the body pretty good. You can see right there, I was squeezing it a little bit, but you can see it's off the body a little bit, and I can feel them. I can feel them now. So I know when I throw that thing, the little popping frogs out there going, that I can, when one bites it, you can just crack them, put the teetotal wood to them. And that's another thing, another tip, while we're talking about frogs, is that, man, when they hit that thing, you're gonna reel up all your slack as quick as you can, and then just absolutely, crack them, put the wood to them. Depending on where I'm fishing, if I'm fishing at targets, like under docks, lily pads, under overhangs and stuff like that, I'm gonna use a 7-foot heavy action. I designed one for casting with a frog rod. But if I'm gonna make a really long cast, I'd prefer a little bit longer rod, a 7.4. Just thought I'd drop that in on you. But those are my two major modifications. Now, a lot of people are going to ask about dropping BBs in them. I have seen, and I've got a couple that you could even, that I've done this to, and it's kind of hard to make them stay in there properly. But I've got a couple rattles in the back. I kind of had to modify them to get them to rattle. I don't know that I had real good luck with it, but I know you can take a couple BBs and stick them in the back, and I actually took in this butthole, and I put a Neko weight in there to try to give it more weight, because I was fishing mats with this one and trying to give it some more sound and try to give it some more weight so that it would sit down lower in those mats and push more water. That King Daddy frog, the big guy, it's probably the best mat frog out there. So if you're really serious about mat fishing and you want to cause a big disturbance, that's a good way to do it. But that's a modification that you can make. For the majority of the frog fishing, probably not a huge deal. I think that the BBs, putting like 3 or 2, 3, or 4, just regular old BBs like you'd put in your Daisy air gun, put those in that frog, and you'll be able to zing that frog a lot further, and you're going to add that rattle to it. So that would, I have a little box with that has BBs and stuff like that, and the rattles in it. I don't have that here, but it's pretty obvious. You just stick them in that, stick them in this hole right here, the one right there. And if you want, the easiest way to get to that is going to be to just condense your frog and spin it around. And now you can open that hole up a little bit easier and get stuff in there if you want. So that's the easiest way to do it, to get that thing in there, is just to spin that hook around, and then all you do is kind of crush your frog back down, spin your hook around, and then put it back where it needs to be. That's probably the easiest way to get those into that hole. I've messed around with a bunch of different stuff, bunch of different ways, and if you're really having trouble, you can try to slide it even further up, and then you can widen that hole a little bit to be able to get those BBs in there. That'd be the easiest way to do it. I have not fished the BBs in there a whole lot with, regular, like not around cover or not around those heavy mats and the big mat fields, stuff like that. But I'm not gonna mess around too much if I don't need to, because I've caught so many on just a regular bronze-eye. It's just crazy. But you do those little modifications and you'll have an even higher hookup ratio. Don't forget to put the absolute teetotal wood to them. Get your Sunline braid, get your X-Plasma braid out, and just put the wood to them. And frog fishing is a lot of fun, especially we make those modifications and you have a high hookup ratio, and it's you know, that frog season, it's coming. It's in the fall, it's awesome. In the spring, it's awesome, and a lot of places it's awesome all summer. So it was one of those warm weather baits that always stays in my boat. And now you know the right ways to have it rigged, so you can have a lot of success with it.